Okay, there's nobody here yet. I don't know if maybe I'm just gonna be patient and wait. Holy shit, people. That was crazy today. Yo. Oh my god. I might get lucky, nobody's here. Maybe I get to go to bed early tonight. Haley and TTR is passing out. You're done, kiddo. I'm looking at you. You're curled up in a ball under a blanket. This one's worried about food. Ugh. Yo, there's nobody there. Ooh. That's all right though, because I set it for an hour out. I told him, so this will be in an hour. So anyway, to everybody that ends up watching this, I'm Perry. I'm the preacher, and today was a phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal day. First, we did well. First, I woke up at like 4:15 this morning, and then we went from Pittsburgh to DC. Got to DC. We did part one, which was earlier, much much earlier. Um, we went to the White House Museum in Washington, or not the White House Museum. Fuck, oh, I'm so tired. We went to the Bible Museum in Washington D.C. Live streamed that, and then Brunette's here. Brunette, it says there's nobody in here. Oh, now it says two. Okay, well, and I'm sorry because the time is still off. My computer has not adjusted to the time change, which it's supposed to, but it hasn't. And every time I turn it off, we move states, so I don't know if it's going to catch up. And every time I try and set it, like I couldn't set it for midnight because the the clock says that it's just a pain in the ass. It's just all one big pain in the ass. But um, so anyway, yeah, we did the Bible Museum today. We did that earlier. That was phenomenal. I mean, I guess it was okay. I mean, I knew it was exactly what I expected it to be. You know, people getting pushed to a counterfeit through multiple avenues of so-called, what do they call those, um, galleries of the self-righteous ideological goal that heathens set for themselves, wrapped up into a damn near monolithic building. I mean, just it's Washington D.C. You can't expect anything out here to be truth, but I mean, it was cool to see, and I enjoyed doing that stream. And then we went straight from there, checked in at the hotel, charged up the phones, charged up the mics, and you know, the reason I'm doing this stream isn't to really recap the day. It is, but for everybody that I don't know how to explain this and how it ended up being that spot because for the last month I've been telling everybody I was going to do it at the Washington Memorial or the Washington Monument, and I literally was never expecting to set up a table in front of the White House. I never expected to do that. And there were so many people. Okay. Shut off the kitchen one. There you go. Yeah, that's perfect. Oh, wait, turn on the kitchen one. I know what you're trying to do. And the other one. There you go. That works. Oh, that's even better. Nice little silhouette, like almost like a silhouette. Cool. So, man, this is just unreal. So for like the last month, I we knew this trip was coming. I didn't plan anything. The only thing we agreed on was the first place we were going to stay, and we had a loose idea on the cities that we were going to visit. And I just wasn't sure how that was all going to work out. And I just trusted the Bible where Jesus said, "Take no thought for tomorrow." Like in Brunette, I'm sure you read the blowout in the sealed. Like I'm sure you read the whole thing, and how important that was to me that we just don't plan and just roll with everything because I know how God works, and he Everything is to his purpose. Everything is to his reason. Every detail is to his planning. Everything is in his control. All things are in his control. And I knew that going into this, but I really thought it was going to be the Washington Museum. Or not the Washington Museum, the Washington Monument or the Lincoln Memorial. And when we parked the car thinking that we were like at the back of the White House. And Haley's like, "That's the back of the White House." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "No, that don't look right." Like, I argued with her a little bit, but I was like, "You know what, man? It could be." So I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, it's the back of the White House." It wasn't. It was the back of the bowling alley for the White House. So the White House is actually pretty small. But we walked all the way around, and the monument wasn't that far away. It was right behind me. You guys were able to see it in the video. But as we were walking, I was looking at all the people, and I'm like, "How is this going to go?" Like I'm not gonna lie, my adrenaline was pumping because fucking Secret Service is everywhere, and I mean, like people, if you just touch on the grass, they're like over loudspeakers everywhere, like get off of the grass, get off of the grass, like I mean, it's tight. So my adrenaline was pumping, and I'm like, man, I don't know how this is gonna go. This is kind of a big deal. And we were walking, and I'm looking at all the people. I'm thinking to myself because Pittsburgh sucked, right? Yesterday, Pittsburgh sucked. And they treated us like absolute shit in Pittsburgh. And I'm looking at all these people, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, all these people have obviously they have the money to travel. They're not, like I mean, you just look at the video and you can see. I mean, it's not people from where I'm at coming here to visit. It's not, it's you either live here or you're visiting, and to visit you got to have the money to visit. And I mean, I'm talking like $7, $8 tolls. What the fuck? $8 tolls through DC. Um, so I'm looking around. I'm like, how's this going to work? I thought it was going to blow out. I thought it was going to be, another Pittsburgh. And when I was walking, I saw these two dudes selling water. And the one dude just Reese, the guy I did it with, like, and his cousin. Like I understood, but Reese is the first person I saw. He's the first person I talked to, and I looked at the cousin. I'm like, man, like, and I looked at them both, and I'm like, all the people that are here. That wasn't even supposed to be the White House. Like, we were just walking. I'm like, we were stopping. Like, I was literally just going to take a picture of TT and Haley and myself, like, do the pictures like everybody else does. Was, hang on, how does that, what did you post? Like, I was just going to, yeah, there's TT. Yeah, I got the picture of TT in the like, Haley's picture of TT in the Washington Monument there. Like, we were just stopping there on our way to the monument to, do the fucking whole picture routine in front of the White House. And you don't think of doing some shit like we did. Like I wouldn't think of that. And like everybody's just keep on moving. They just kept moving through. I saw these two dudes selling water, and Reese looked at the Bible verse sign, and he's like, yo, he's like, you got a YouTube channel? Because I colored the little YouTube logo on there. I was like, yeah, I got a YouTube channel. I didn't give him the business card, and I wasn't gonna tell him what it was, but I looked around at all the people, and I'm like, you know what? And just I don't know how to explain it to you. Like I just fucking knew. I knew. And I looked around at everybody here, and I'm like, everybody here has the money to visit Washington, D.C. Everybody here has the money for everything else. This dude's out here hustling water bottles. This isn't for everybody else that's standing around. I was like, this is for the dude hustling the people that are standing around. And like Jacob and Esau. Jacob hustled Esau. Like, you guys got to understand that. Jacob hustled Esau. Like, that was a straight hustle. He took his birthright from him for a plate of food. Um, God, that's how God is. He always chooses the hustlers. He chose David. David was a shepherd, right? He was a shepherd. He was nobody from nowhere, but he was a hustler. He look at what he did to Goliath. You know, I mean, you look at Moses. Moses wasn't an Egyptian. He hustled Pharaoh. He grew up. He got raised by them and everything. Like, and Moses' mom hustled Pharaoh's daughter, sent him up the river in some reeds, in a basket. God always chooses the hustlers, and I just knew. I knew it was for him. So the conversation went the way it went. And I was like, you know what, man? This is just where it's going to fucking be. And I looked at TT and Shiloh and was like, y'all got to go get the table. Or I looked at TT and Haley. I looked at TT and Haley and was like, y'all got to go get the table. Because my fat ass was done walking. I'd already done 6 flights of stairs at the Bible Museum, thank you. And I've been walking my ass a lot. So I was like, yeah. And I wanted to make sure I kept the conversation going with him because, the same token, I knew what I was about to do to this dude. I knew I was about to brick him in the head with some reality. He was the biggest one in the crowd. And the dude was fucking tall. I'm like, okay. So, and I asked his cousin, I was like, can he get an hour or so off to do this? I was like, I'll make it worth your guys' while. And, like, I mean, you're not out selling water bottles because you don't need the money, right? So, and he said he's born and raised in DC. That's the life he just lives. And I'm like, okay. I was like, all right, you got to make it through this Bible study. They went and got the table. So we set up the table right in front of the fucking White House, right in front of the fucking White House to preach the gospel. And don't kid yourself. You think it was just one person I talked to. There was 300 people that moved through as I was talking to this dude. I don't know. I wasn't, maybe not 300. It was a lot. A lot of people moved through. And everybody that moved through, if it wasn't nasty looks, they tried to pay attention for him and they didn't give a fuck. Nobody else stepped up and said, hey, what are you doing? Everybody saw the Bible study sign. Everybody heard what was going on. And Haley and TT were saying that we got so many nasty looks. And I know we did because a lot of Islam women showed up and a lot of other people showed up and they were just dirty looking the Bible study sign. And I saw it, as I'm talking to this dude about the Bible, I saw the way they were looking at us. And I knew that it was just for Reese. The whole trip to get to DC was just for Reese. Every single thing. And I want to talk about something because I've got a video that I haven't put up. I've got a video that I haven't shared yet. And it's so stupid. So, and I'm going to explain it. So, on our way leaving Illinois, before we got to Chicago, I told Haley I wanted to do a video. I wanted to do a short video for the Sealed, for the ministry that we have, right, for the believers group. I wanted to do a group for them of us rolling up alongside a semi truck and doing the beep, 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 and get the beep, beep, right? And I wanted to do that video. And I told her to do it for another truck before Chicago, but she didn't. We couldn't. Something happened. We ended up slowing down. We couldn't. I mean, I want to talk about every single detail of this trip. And I'm going to bend your mind a little. So we didn't get to do it in Chicago. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to wait for a perfect time. And Haley is my witness to this. Like, she will vouch for this. TT2. I keep wanting to say fucking Shiloh and TT or Haley and Shiloh. Like, I'm so used to having Shiloh with me. So I miss my kids. But, so we didn't get to do it in Chicago. And I told her I'm going to wait for the perfect time. And on our way to DC today, I saw another truck and I'm like, hey, pull alongside that truck. Like, we were almost door to door, almost. And I think we passed him up, right? Haley, we passed him up, the first one. Yeah, we passed up the first truck. Yeah, I was like, stop here. And she's like, no, 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 no. And she's like, we'll do the next one. And I looked up and I was like, okay, fine. And she was taking her sweet ass time getting up to this truck. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen either. But we get up next to this truck and the only thing I noticed was on the door, the company's name was God's Country. The name of the trucking company was God's Country. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, and I've got it recorded. I'm like, holy shit, God's Country. Check it out. Because, we're doing this whole preaching God thing. So I do the thing. We get the horn. And it was just all perfect. It worked out perfectly. And I sent the video to the Sealed that's there. And, I mean, even that, for that moment to have happened, God would have had to have known about that moment when the guy that owned that trucking company first decided to have the idea to own that trucking company. When he first did his startup, God knew that there would be a moment that one of his truckers in his trucks would be driving down the road, or her trucks, I don't know, right? Or her trucks, because the driver, I do believe, was a female. Um, and I don't know if she owns her own rig and that's just her, licensing name or whatever. But either way, whoever it is that owns that company, God would have had to have known in that moment that that moment was going to happen, and it was going to happen for us because He knew I wanted it, and we wanted it from Chicago. He knew I was going to want that moment, and so on the way from Pittsburgh to DC, that moment happened, and it just so happened to say God's country. And I looked at Haley and I was just like, "This is fucking weird." Right? And that's not. I mean, that's just one out of 5,000 things really in the last 48 hours. But everything that happened for the last, I don't know. I've technically been planning this trip for like 2 years, but we really started discussing it because Haley had other plans, and her plans evolved to include me going with and us doing exactly this, right? So every detail of everything was to get us in front of Reese, and that is some cool shit. And now, after all that, after that interaction with Reese, I gave him 3 Bibles. He when I initially talked to him, I told him I would give him a Bible if he finished it, and he said, "Oh, cool, I can give it to my grandma." And I was like, "Well, then I got to give you 2 Bibles because I want you to read it. Like, I'm not giving it to you for it to sit on a shelf. I'm giving it to you so you'll read it. I don't care if you can fucking, I don't care. I don't give a fuck what your level of reading is. It's King James, and you have to take the time. It doesn't matter. Like, it just doesn't matter. You got to use a real Bible. You don't want to get caught with a counterfeit." So I was like, "I got to give you 2 then." And then I was like, "You know what? I'm going to give you 3 because of your cousin, and he don't get to do this right now." So, I mean, that was the deal. That was the deal. And he made it all the way through it. And we preached in front of the fucking White House right there. And I know for a fact, like, Secret Service was watching every fucking detail. And that's neat. You couldn't miss what we just did. There's no way. There's no way. That was cool. That was fucking cool. And I just, a big thank you to Reese. Fuck, a big thank you to the White House for having that pathway there, right? And like Reese, he said he's been doing what he's doing for about 5 years. Every summer he goes to the White House. He said one time Obama even came out and bought waters from them. Uh, like, they've been doing it for a long time. That's where they go. They just stand there and hustle water all day, water and Gatorades. And for him to be there in that moment, he said he's seen it all, right? He's like, "I've seen it all, man. That's cool. I'll sit down with you." And this broke his mind. This broke his mind because this is the truth. So at the end of the day, I ended up traveling however many hundreds of miles to come meet him. And what I find neat about that, to me in my faith, in my walk, in my trust with God, right? I just find it neat that he put me in trust with the gospel, so much so that he would need to send me 800 miles. When you, and just to show you like the idea behind this, he said, if you have 100 sheep and you lose one, you leave the other 99 to go find the one. I left my family. I left my kids. Haley left everything that she has behind, right? My daughter came with. She left her brothers and sisters. She left mom. She left our house. We left it all to go on the most fucking dangerous roads in America, right? On the same road my dad died on, and I went through that same tunnel. I passed the exact spot where he died today. I recorded it to come down here for one. For one. This is so cool how he orchestrates it, puts it all together. So I gotta trust that he'll take care of him. Then I gotta trust that Reese will read. And I gotta trust that I'll hear from him again. We hooked him up. We gave him everything. I gave him everything I could to make sure he's successful in this. I don't know how to explain to you the honor that doing this for you guys is, and how far I'm willing to go to just be a believer. I know I am a believer, obviously. I wouldn't be 800 miles away from home. But to do the work of an evangelist and to make full proof of my ministry and to love everybody the same way that he loves us, to forgive everybody for everything, to show the same mercy to others that he showed to me and to my family. And I miss my wife fucking fiercely. I'm not crying because I miss home. I'm crying because this is just insane. This is just insane. And today had to be one of the coolest fucking things I ever got to do. Ever. And I didn't even know I was going to do it until I got there. That's what's fucking gnarly, man. It's so gnarly. And that's my recap for today. And check this out. I'm not necessarily ending it here, but so when I gave them those 3 Bibles, initially they were starting to pack up, right? They were starting to pack up. They were condensing down and moving closer together, and you know, I they put their 3 Bibles in the wagon, and so Reese was like, "No, don't put them in the wagon." And he had his cousin put them in his backpack, and so we left. Right, we packed up and left. I knew at the end of that that's who it was for. I knew that that's what I came here to do. I knew that was done because I knew that the hundreds of people that walked past that stared at us and gave us dirty looks, and everybody else that could have been curious about it, could have stepped in, sat down, and listened. Could have asked about it. Could have. I mean, they could have. I was there to help. They didn't, and so we packed up. We left, and we actually ended up skipping the Lincoln Memorial because we don't give a fuck. That's not what we came here for. And we pretty much skipped the monument too, to be honest. Instead of walking straight to the monument and the Lincoln Memorial, like I said I was going to at the end of the video, we walked back to the car and we parked a little bit closer to the monument. But we got, you know, I got within take one picture of my, well, so yeah, take one picture of my daughter range and was like, fuck this, we're done. Right? We all was like, fuck this. We're not here for heathen monuments. I just thought it was unique that God made me preach in front of the heathen buildings. and so we were packing up to leave from the monument. Now remember, when he put his Bibles in a wagon, when the cousin put the Bibles in a wagon, Reese was like, "No, put them in a backpack." Oh. So we're leaving the monument. This is like 45 minutes after the live, mind you, with I don't know a good few thousand people in the area, and a solid half a mile, almost a mile apart. We leave the monument, like the little curve off road that's right there, and who do we see walking down the sidewalk? Reese and his cousin, and a little family over on the side on the hill uh, hustled them for some water. They're like, "Yo, you guys got water?" And so I waited, and I was like, "Hey, man, I saw you from down the street. Just want to say one last bye." And as we were talking, like I don't know what happened. Somehow the wagon ended up rolling down the hill, and all the water and all the ice spilled out of the cooler. All their water spilled everywhere. All the water spilled everywhere, all over the sidewalk. If Reese had not told him to put the Bibles in the backpack, all 3 of them Bibles would have been ruined right then and there. It would have been done. Everything he sat through would have been for nothing. If he hadn't have told him, like, and then he didn't even have to pick up a water bottle. Me, TT, and Haley picked up all the water bottles. And I noticed that, and I was like, what? So God showed me that he's in control of literally everything, because if Reese hadn't told his cousin to put the Bibles in the backpack, when that cart rolled, all them Bibles would have been soaked. But that's 3 Bibles, and these aren't cheap Bibles. We don't give out shit. We give out nice ass Bibles, like shit that'll last. You beat the fuck out of it. They're good for about 2.5 years if you religiously read. Like I mean, boom, 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 boom. At least a couple hours a day. They're good for about 2.5 years. Marking it up and everything. So it was like one last shot. God showed me that he's in control of all things. And that was the first thing I thought about as we were walking away. I was like, wait, weren't the Bibles in the wagon? And Haley was like, no. Reese made his cousin put them in the backpack after he put them in the wagon. And I was like, holy shit. The Reese, there he is. I don't even know if you noticed that, dude. I don't even know if you noticed that. You told your cousin to put them in the backpack after he put them in a wagon, and the wagon flipped, and the Bibles weren't in there, and if they were, they'd have been soaked. But they were in a backpack, so they're good. And I was like, God showing me that He's in control of everything. Because it wasn't supposed to be the White House I did that at. It was supposed to be the Lincoln Memorial. It was supposed to be the Washington, one of the two. It was never going to be the White House, dude. We were just walking through. But it wasn't the people with the money and the shit. It wasn't them that it was for. It was for the dude that hustles those people, those fucking hypocrites. Sin, repent, repeaters, man. Sin, repent, repeaters. Sin, repent, repeat. Sin, repent, repeat. Never forget that shit, dude. Don't ever go back to it. Trust Him in all things. Yeah, I didn't realize it till after the fact either. We were walking away. We were walking in front of that other museum. I forgot, African American Museum. I think I don't remember what the actual name was. You told me, but at African American Museum, we were walking past in front of that, and I looked at Haley. I was like, wait. I was like, weren't the Bibles supposed to be in the wagon? And she's like, no, he made his cousin put them in a backpack after he'd put them in a wagon. So thinking about it, I was like, holy shit, God knew that wagon was going to tip, dude. And He got the Bibles out of the wagon and into the backpack. And He knew we were going to be there to help you pick up the fucking Bible, the bottles. And that was Him showing me who's really in control. And this is just fucking unreal. If you knew this whole trip, Reese, if you knew how much shit like we've been through just to get here. Yeah, I know. He's there. He's in the chat. Reese is in the chat. This is insanity. And I'm sorry, this isn't a normal Bible study. Like, I've got verses on the screen. This isn't a normal Bible study. I'm just recapping today, dude. I won't be back to normal. I'm going to do a couple chapters with my brother on here tomorrow. And that's another story, dude. My brother didn't even know I existed till like 4 months ago. Like, my real brother didn't even know I existed till 4 months ago. And I met him for the same reason. I found him. After 36 years of looking for this dude, I finally found him. And it wasn't like it was just a fluke that I found him. So, because I've been trying to find him for 36 years and I couldn't. And I think it's all for the same thing. So I'll be doing a live Bible study with him tomorrow. But he already understands it. I don't have to. I just got to go see him. I love my brother. I miss him. I only met him once, but I get to meet him again tomorrow, which is neat. So, I mean, once this gets back to normal, you'll see. But it's now this is crazy, man. God is in control. And if you really trust Him, if you're a real believer, if you know you can't, like you perfect, right? That kind, the real kind, He takes care of every detail, everything. He is in control of it all. He created it all. He reconciled it all. He didn't find his dad till yeah, dude. No, my dad died. He died on the same road that I drove to get here, right? The same tunnel from going from Pennsylvania into Maryland. And that's the first time today I found out that that's where he died. I never met my dad. I never had a chance to meet him. You're lucky. Even no matter how he turned out, you go forgive him and love him and show him the truth. But I hope he listens. But at the end of the day, dude, this has been the most intense, insane 2 days of my life. Tomorrow I'm finally going to get sort of a break. But we still got 5 more days on this trip, and then we're finally home. Reese, I want to say thank you, dude. Thank you, man. This is far from over, dude. It's far from over. Anytime you got questions, anytime somebody tries to ham you up, dude, on scripture, anything, just call, man. I mean, I just think it's neat, dude. I think it's the coolest shit in the world. So every day you're hustling water bottles at the White House, I get to sit there and know that I know somebody that's there. Like, it's fucking cool, dude. He's in control of it all. He orchestrated it all. There's we couldn't find a place to park. Haley parked where she parked. I'm trying to wrap my mind around this. Like, she couldn't find the place to park to get to anywhere. She didn't even know that the building we were parking in front of wasn't the White House. Like, everything was a freak accident to put me in front of you, to put me right there. Otherwise, I would have just gone to the Washington Monument or the Lincoln Memorial and just set up the table and sat there and got dirty looks all day. But meeting you was phenomenal. Today was cool. That was a highlight. I mean, outside of having kids, getting married, and obviously getting saved was my best day. What you went through today, what you learned today, when I learned it, was the best day of my life, hands down. The minute that I knew I was free, I was like, holy shit. I was like, I know what the apostles know. I was like, I can't fucking wait to tell everybody. And then everybody hated me. I got my wedding canceled. All kinds of bad shit happened. Like, people just fucking clinging to sin, dude. That's all they do. They cling to that idea that Jesus couldn't make them perfect. That's what they do. They deny him. So every freak accident that could have happened brought me to that spot today to meet you. And I wouldn't change this shit for the world, man. God is so good. He's so slick, so smart. And them water bottles today, you dropping that thing, dude. Look at it, what it is. Like, I know you were tired. You looked down at the water bottles. He looked down at the water bottles. I just saw the look on his face. He's like, oh, fuck this. I knew. We just started picking him up. But walking away from that, I was like, holy shit, that's what he was showing me. You made the decision to put him in your backpack. If you hadn't made that decision, if he wasn't in control of that, right, then they would have been in the water. He takes care of his word. He takes care of his people. And there's no race or gender or nothing, dude. It's all love, pure love, forgiveness, mercy, laughter, peace. Man, I don't know, dude. I wish you knew. I wish you knew. And I hope you take the time to learn it and find out. Find out for yourself. This is gnarly. This is the craziest shit. I give up like everything for this. Everything. He's so good. I'm not gonna keep you guys late tonight. I gotta go to bed because we gotta be out of here at like 6:45 in the morning. I gotta be up, have everything packed up, done, and then it's off to Virginia Beach, which I'm going swimming in the ocean, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, I'm going swimming in the ocean. Apparently, the first thing my brother wants me to do is help him move an elliptical to his friend's house. The second time I ever meet my brother in my life, and that's what he wants. That's what we're doing. So I'm excited. I love you guys. I really do. I really, really, really do. Thank you to everybody who made this trip happen. Because without you guys, no way. And it's because of the people that take this seriously. Take the Bible serious. God ain't fucking around. This is not a joke. He came here to pay for everything. You either believe it in full or you serve sin. It's one or the other. You can't have it both ways. You serve him in everything, or you serve sin every now and then you lose your soul for it. You cannot sin and be saved. Jesus paid for it all. I love y'all. And sorry this was an hour earlier. Oh man. Tomorrow Bible study. That'll be something simple, like Romans 6 or something simple. Want to I want to give them enough to get them motivated. I love you guys. I salute the brethren. And 5 more days. 5 more days. Reese, dude, take care of yourself, man. You're never alone, bro. You can pick up the phone anytime. I love you guys, Brunette. Thanks for everything. Thanks for being here and taking this seriously and doing all the Bible studies. Yo, this is cool shit. Enjoy your night, guys. And I love you, wifey, if you watch this, and kids. I miss you so much. Don't forget to leave a like, whatever. I don't give a shit. Enjoy your night. We'll talk soon.